What's up, pot pickers? Welcome to the Good, the Bad and the Stupid. It's 14th of November, Thursday. Did that back to front. My name's Wayne Lawrence, your host for this evening. Did that back to front. Pot pickers, that popped in my head earlier. That was what the 1980s cheesy disc jockeys used to say, didn't they? Howdy, pot pickers. Ooh, which one used to say that? Hopefully it wasn't one of the sordid ones like... you know, the ones have been like Jimmy Savile, for instance. I'm not quoting Jimmy Savile lines, fuck's sake. Who was it? Pot pickers? No, can't remember. You'll have to find out. Tell me, you let me know what the pot pickers. Nick Berry. If anybody listened yesterday, I couldn't remember what his name was, and it was Nick Berry. That was the guy who sang "Every Loser Wins" and was in Heartbeat. Disappeared, hasn't he? Just don't know where he's gone. He was, you know, he was top of the pops at one point, but he's like, you know, quite popular, but he's disappeared off the scene. So who knows where he's gone? He's probably banked his money and decided to get away from shit TV roles, maybe. You know, there's no point being a fucking actor if you just offered shit roles, is it? I'm not saying he did Heartbeat, but if they've pulled that, and then if you got no good ones coming up after that, then you might as well just go, fuck it. I'm off to Australia or something. I'm sick of people pulling me in the street and going, don't you sing that song? I remember, who's the other guy? Doc Cotton's son, Nick Cotton. You know, Nick Cotton, he always used to turn up every now and then and I'd go, hello, Ma. He'd be back, reinvented back into this programme every few years. You'd always see him about in the streets in Brighton. You'd see him around in the pubs and stuff like that. But I bet he could never get away from that line. People would go up to him and say, I think I've spoke about this before. You know, be sitting at the bar by himself having a quiet pint, and somebody would go up and go, "All right, Ma," and drop him some other lines off the TV programme. I bet that gets tiring as fuck after a while. So you just have to just ditch the country, don't you, and just go where was it? Where nobody knows your name. What's that song? Where everybody. Oh no, that's Where Everybody Knows Your Name. That's Cheers. No, he don't want to go there. He wants to go fucking where nobody knows his name. Where nobody knows his Nick Cotton. He doesn't mind his name as his original name. You know, like you got fucking Ian Beale, who literally. I've spoke about this before as well. He doesn't know who he fucking is. He's been Ian Beale for 30 years. What's his real name? He probably doesn't even know. So he probably just wants to go, just call me Ian. I'm sick of, I don't know who this other guy is anymore. Just call me Ian. That's who I am. I'm pretty much fucking, you know. But he gets all the crap roles as well, doesn't he? The crap storylines, Ian. He gets all the kind of, you know, the sad stories, or everyone's running off with his wife and he's getting divorced and his business is getting bust and all that. You just think, fucking hell, you must go home like, right, hit the bottle when you go home, and it's not cheering you up, is it? Surely you can't be like whistling while you work. Well, he's done it for 30 years. The money must be good. I'll tell you that. Tell you where the money isn't good, and that is in the NHS for a nurse. Especially with the hours that they do. And the reason I'm talking about that is because of The Apprentice, Sir Alan Sugar's apprentice sidekick, Claude Littner, his millionaire sidekick, and one of the ones who sit either side of him, said that hard-up nurses should work harder. No, what did he say? He said, yeah, work harder and get a second job if they're complaining that they're not getting paid, or, you know, they're struggling to make ends meet. Because there's nurses visiting food banks and stuff like that, which is just fucking a crime against fucking, you know, against sanity. That's just ridiculous that anybody should be in that position. Who's a nurse or anybody that's working, you should never have to be that skint after working that you have to visit food banks. And this guy says, go and get a second job. So he's a fucking rich prat, basically, if you're gonna, and he should go and get a fucking a visit down to some of those places and go and actually make him go. And you're sitting down next to Alan Sugar. You're far removed from reality, my friend. You should just go and have to walk around with a nurse for one of her shifts, just one of her shifts, and see how you feel after it when she goes home and has to fucking eat a pot noodle or some shit like that. You know, that ain't a fucking nice existence to have to live, because you're doing all the good stuff for people, and that's a guy out of touch with reality. But these guys, this is a good guy. He's a dude. These are good guys. A biker. Bikers I like bikers because they fucking love the business and they're a bit of a clan and all that kind of stuff. But they've got a good heart. A lot of motorbiker. I'm not talking about the Hell's Angel, fucking every drug dealings kind of biker, but I'm talking about, you know, the ones who are into that scene, and they wear all the gear and they look mean as fuck, but they've actually got a good heart. So like these guys who, not like that gang on what's that Clint Eastwood films when he used to get chased by the fucking biker gang, and there was one who had a bald head and he had a fucking wig on. It was hilarious. Oh, what was his name? The one where he's got the monkey and he's Right Turn Clyde. What's them films called? I tell you what, my recollection memory. I remember once the film's finished. I can't. You remember anyway. He's got the monkey, Right Turn Clyde, and he had that biker gang, and they were all so not those stereotype ones. All the ones out of the police academy in the Blue Oyster Bar, but they're not necessarily bikers. They're dressed like bikers, but they're more. That's more fucking kinky, isn't it? That used to crack me up as well when the two policemen used to run into the fucking police academy bar. That scene was just hilarious. And every film, they would find themselves accidentally running into that bar, wouldn't they? Absolutely fucking hilarious. I tell you what, they should make a little YouTube video cut out of all those bits of those two coppers, because it freaked them out, didn't it? It's like, you know, now you're like, fucking what? Have you never seen a fucking gay man before? Especially like, you know, living in Brighton and places where it's like very liberal and stuff like that. You know, wear some of that shit just walking around. You know what I mean? They don't blink an eye. But those guys run in there and they're like, shit, where we found ourselves. Anyhow, where are we? I digress. I'm not going to get through these stories. I'm talking about fucking random stuff. The biker, he found somebody pickpocketing an old guy at one of the British Legion memorial things over the weekend, and the biker caught him, followed him down an alleyway and grabbed him, and he's got him in a headlock and dragged him back around through all the bikers. Really embarrassed him. So, you know, his photos in the paper and everything. So that's embarrassing to anybody that knows him. That's the best way to deal with that kind of thing, I think, because it's a petty crime. You're pickpocketing somebody, but to put your face out so everybody that knows you, it's like shameful, isn't it? So even your mum or your family are going to see that and go, oh God, what a loser. And this biker's twice his age. I mean, the biker looks like he's 54, so he's an older dude, and he's like, oh, fuck it, you know what I mean? They don't muck around, and they're mob-handed, so you know you can't just rock up and try and fucking rob somebody in a biker gang. You ain't gonna come off very well. What's it called? James Blunt's donated all his royalties for his new record to the armed forces. That is a good. He's probably got plenty of money to be able to make a decision like that. But I'm not saying that's. But it's a good thing to do, isn't it? Was it one single or was it the whole album? No, it's a single, yeah. So he's donated all the proceeds of that single to the album. So hopefully it's a banger and it sells out and he gets loads of people who are buying it. But I don't know. People buy James Blunt CDs. I think they do. They'll do it for the armed forces anyway, won't they? It's a bit better than a Chris Kamara CD. Come on, at least he is a singer. And he's like, but buy Chris Kamara's as well. If he's doing it for charity, whatever, just buy it. There's stocking fillers, isn't there? You're buying it and you've done a good thing. You can chuck it away afterwards. You don't have to listen to it. Just think about where it's going. My concern is that you have to fucking. It's it's people having to do that, or people like him having to do that because raise money for the armed forces. You know, when it should just be given that they're paid for by the government anyway. They shouldn't have to have money raised for them. It's ridiculous. It's almost like fucking having to ask for handouts and stuff like that. It's wrong. It's all fucking wrong. Like the nurses, it's all wrong. Why don't you get that geezer to go down there, that Charles Littner, get him to go out and sing a song and fucking, actually saying that wouldn't sell shit, would it? It wouldn't sell fuck all. So no, don't do that. Why don't you just get him, fine him like a fine for what's it called? Common sense fine, or a ridiculous thing to say. It's almost like name and shame him. He's been named and shamed as well, like that pickpocket. He's been named and shamed and had to fucking have his face and his like stupid comments in the paper, and everyone, even his family, going, "Oh God, what a stupid thing to say! How fucking ridiculous," you know. So but he's going to have to donate something now to the nurses again that you shouldn't have to do. Right, let's move on to something else. Harry Styles is wearing a jumper covered in sheep. Yeah, it's a shit jumper, shit tank top covered with woolly sheep on it. It's got to be Gucci or something like that, and he's got loads of money, so but I think somebody's saying there that he's going to put his dates to sleep if they start counting the sheep. But that he better have something fucking half decent to say if like he's going to wear that. Then if they're going to start, their eyes going to go, hypnotise them, you know. So you better have some fucking funny jokes, keep them awake. It's a strange old. There's some random clothes out there, aren't they? We've all wore them, you know. But you can't. That's not. You're not going to be incognito wearing a jumper covered in loads of pictures of sheep all over it, are you? It's probably made of wool. Is it made of wool? Probably. A couple were baffled when their 2-piece, 12-piece dinner set. What was it? Store swaps dinner sets for toy clay. I don't think this is a shit story. Anyway, I don't know why I pulled this one out, but they ordered a 12-piece dinner set off the internet at Sainsbury's, and because it wasn't in stock, the Sainsbury's sent them a load of Play-Doh, children's Play-Doh, the needy sort of stuff that you fucking make little men out of and stuff like that. Sent them that instead of a 12-piece dinner set. What are they going to do with that? Mini bucket set and a sparkle compound kit. So be careful if you're ordering Play-Doh off Sainsbury's. You're probably going to get a 12-piece dinner set through the post, or you might end up with a sheep-covered tank top. Maybe that's where he's ended up with that. He just thought, well, I'm going to have to wear it now, because not someone in their right mind would have ordered it. Probably, you know, gone, that looks good, that looks cool, that does, you know. He's one of those getting dressed in the dark situations, or trying to stand out, but it ends up being for the wrong reasons. A street in Essex has got 12 hairdressers, men's hairdressers, no more than 450 yards of each other. Both, because was it no? They're both male and females ones, but was it 15, 12 hairdressers all within 450 yards of each other? You'd be right pissed off if, because they can't have opened all at the same time. You know, that's just milking it, that is, isn't it? That's like, and they're saying that people in Essex like to be groomed, you know, like to look good and all that stuff. They do everywhere, but that can't be good for business if somebody opens next door to you. You know what I'm going to do next door to you? I'm going to open up exactly the same business as what you're doing. Surely that's going to start scissor wars. They're going to start smashing each other's windows and everything like that. I remember where in Brighton there was fucking yoga wars going on. There was 2 guys who were doing hot yoga, I think it was. I mean, this is like how twee and gentrified the place has gone, because these people met up in the street in the middle of the night and started having a fight over who was doing hot yoga in the territory, like territory wars over fucking over hot yoga. So you know, drug dealers beware. There's hot yoga fights to be dealt with first, you know. So yeah, it's all right. There's plenty of room. I'm sure there's plenty of space for other people, but one guy didn't like it, so he started. I think the one was instigating it on the other one. The other guy was like, "What the fuck, really?" Surely there's worse things in life than fighting over. You know, that's not even like something to fight over, is it? Anyway, let's move on to the eating trials of the Celebrity Jungle. They've started bringing out what they're going to be eating. There's a guy here holding a bull's penis in his hand. You don't think anybody's going to be fighting over that? He's got a bull's penis, and one of the Bush Tucker trials are going to have to eat it. And I think it's just fucking sad, isn't it? That it's just disrespectful. And sheep's anus. Oh, he said he said it's his favourite part of the show, that people are going to have to watch them pampered celebrities come out of their comfort zones and struggling to munch on a sheep's anus. It's just not even entertaining in the slightest, that isn't, is it? And somebody's going to have to eat that long. It's about that long. It's a bull's penis. So you know, hopefully one of them chokes on it, and they have to pull that kind of thing from the show. Obviously not die, but you know, just make it so that kind of shit is find something else to be entertaining. Terry comic Johnny Vegas has finally quit smoking, thanks to he talked himself into every time he tried to have a puff on a cigarette, he had to dance to Like a Virgin by or was it Lucky Star. He made a dance to the Madonna wherever he was whether he was out in the shops or wherever else or wherever he was. He made himself dance to Madonna, so it stopped him from doing it because it made himself look a prat. So that's a good way of doing it, because if you stuck to it, otherwise you just go, oh fuck it, I'm just going to have a fag anyway and just not dance. And it really, if you're undisciplined, as most smokers are, it's a tough thing to do the smoking, especially when the smoking is the smoking area of the bar is the place where all the social shit's going on. If you go out with like 4 smokers, which many times I do, they all go outside for a fag, don't they? And you're stood like a plonker, like looking after the drinks or looking after the bags and everything. You know, sometimes, I mean, I used to smoke, and sometimes I just have to go with them and have a fag. I think I'm not looking after it. I want to go for a fag. And I go and have one just to not be left on my own. So I'm smoking out of loneliness. You know, the whole bar sometimes goes out there, don't they? It's mad, the non-smoker gets it in the neck. Also, years ago when you used to be in a bar, when people used to smoke in the bar, they'd always go to a smoking table and non-smoking. Oh, smoking please, because most predominantly, or even if half of the table smoked, half of your friend set smoked, you'd always go to the smoking table. So all the people who didn't smoke would have to sit while everyone was like, you know. I remember being with a meal once, and my friend of mine there's no ashtray on the table, so he was using a Yorkshire pudding as an ashtray, smoking and using it, stubbing his fag out in a Yorkshire pudding. Put me off my dinner, I can tell you. And I smoked at the time. Right, where are we moving on to? A full moon, a spare bed for a scooter, and organising a rainbow for a wedding proposal were among the most bizarre requests made by hotel guests. Well, they're off their head, aren't they? That must have been on the way back in from a night out, fucking up all night by the sounds of it, to ask for a rainbow for a rainbow for a wedding proposal. There's the guy at the reception going, right, I think you need to check out, or before I call the police. You were clearly on fucking acid or something or other. You know, John Legend has been named the sexiest man alive. Please, excuse me. There's nobody. Obviously, nobody's seen these podcast videos. His Legend said that he's excited, but a little scared by the award from America's People magazine. Previous winners are David Beckham and last year Idris Elba. So there you go. John Legend has nicked it from under the feet of many other sexy men. It's a random thing, isn't it? It's not really. He's not going to fucking sweat on that one, I don't think, too much. He probably knows. Anyway, junkies are getting £25 Greggs vouchers from the NHS if they get tested for hepatitis C. It's well worth fucking just doing it, because they're unfortunately, as a junkie, they get the money and they don't take the food. They don't go. The first thing they don't think is food, is it? The first thing they think is fucking drugs. It's a shame. So they should. I mean, yes, they should get tested. I mean, they should. Some people should be going out giving them vouchers anyway, because you know, they're ill and they've got an illness, and they need to eat to at least stay alive until they sort out their illness. So I think there should be some kind of system where they're given vouchers regardless, but it's good that somebody's doing it, but it's a one-off, you know. I mean, that'll last them one day. Don't go and sell it, guys. Come on, it's £25 here. Probably fucking go and sell it to somebody for a tenner, and then still put it towards the gear. So it's fucking wrong, isn't they? There needs to be a sort of place where they can go and get food. You know, not just rely on these people who are charity food fucking stops for the homeless. Society's fucking wrong at the bottom end, isn't it? What have we got here? Tom Cruise almost had his hand broken by an elderly man during a clash in an Irish pub. It was claimed last night. I thought, oh fucking hell, what's all that about then? The boozer swiped at the Mission Impossible star with his stick because he thought he was stealing the barman's cigarettes. I thought, really? That's a bit... and it turns out this was in 1991 when he was married to Nicole Kidman. Fucking hell, they've dug that one out of the archives. How long have they been waiting to tell that one? It's like a random story from 30 years ago, is it? Not interested. We don't care. The old man's probably long dead now, and he was, you know, Tom Cruise was a young man, and he's probably had a million different stories happen since that are more interesting. Friends are reuniting is a little bit more interesting than Tom Cruise's 30-year-old stale story. Friends are in talks to reunite the cast for a one-off show. They're going to be mega bucks, aren't they? They've probably definitely got to do that for the money. But even they should do that, just not for the money. Obviously take the money, but don't not do it if there wasn't any money. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but what I mean is, like, fucking everyone would love to see that. It would be, you know, it'd be like a right fucking for the fans of the Friends show. I mean, bloody hell, just for the sake that they're forever repeating it on the TV. You've watched them over and over and over and over and over again. It's constantly on a cycle, isn't it? So to have one extra different one that somebody can watch would be a bonus. But I think when the one of them, Joey, didn't want to do it, and he's the best character in it, so he better bloody step up and do it. I'm not bothered. I'm not really a big fan, but you know, I catch them. They're watchable. You can watch them. But yeah, I mean, money-wise, they've got to be banking a good few million each for that. So if some of them haven't been in many things since, I don't think it's going to be too hard to get them together. I'd like to see Cheers. I'd like to see another Cheers. They're still alive, aren't they? You know, that programme was hilarious, and I mean, obviously it won't be the same, but it'd be brilliant to see all them cast all back together. Woody and Sam, and who's them two guys, the old guys, the postman and the fucking fat dude who used to sit at the bar. They were fucking hilarious. Kelsey Grammer, what's his name? Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey. No, what's his programme? Is the actor's name in it? Oh, I don't know. As you know, I don't remember the names of these things. What's his fucking name? No, I can't remember it. Oh shit! I'll have to tell you what that one is tomorrow. Snowflakes want to ban office. I'm going to finish up on this one. Snowflakes want to ban the office whip round because they feel pressured into putting their hands in their pockets. Skint younger workers say they are stressed by collections for leavers and birthdays and traditions such as Secret Santa. I get that because I used to work in an office, and fuck me, there was like a whip round every week, and at somebody's birthday, it was like, well, the birthday was all right because you do a whip round for them, but they'd have to buy the cakes. That was all right, but you didn't want to, on your birthday, that was like a pisser on your birthday because you don't end up having to go buy about 30 people cakes, and everybody in the team would end up doing it, so you end up eating cakes all fucking, you know, loads of times. Everyone end up with a big fat ass. But as for the whip rounds, yeah, it was constant. Somebody would be leaving, somebody would be having getting married, somebody would be having a baby, somebody would be a birthday, whatever. There was always a whip round. It's a right noise, especially when you didn't like the people. If someone you didn't like, and it's like, you'd have to just pretend to put something in there and take a tenner out. That's the best way to deal with somebody that you didn't like. I never did that. I would always just put it in, but I'd begrudge putting the money in there. There's better places for that 20 pence to have gone. No, I'd stick at least a quid in. You got to make that. But sometimes when you're young, you're not on that much money, so you don't want to spend it all on these other people. So I think you just have to go along with what I just said. Pretend, put in one of those coins that's on a string, so it shoots back up your arm like a magician. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, I think. So hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again for the last one of the week tomorrow. See you later. Bye bye.